Welcome, this is Dr. Justin, Doctor of Oriental Medicine, acupuncture physician with Conscious Mind Mastery, and today we're going to talk about one amazing superfood soup that some of you may be familiar with at your sushi restaurant, but I want to go a little deeper and tell you more details about it, and then in the second part of this video we're going to show you how to make it. And miso is a very traditional Japanese staple food that's been eaten for a long time, and it's very traditional to the Okinawan diet, which is the Okinawans in Japan are part of the blue zone for living, with longevity. And their diet that they eat, they consume a lot of foods that we're not really familiar with. And today we have different misos. We have misos that are white and yellow and red, and then we have a chickpea miso which has non-soy. And I don't want you to get scared of soy. When I went to Taiwan and when I went to China, I saw them consume so much soy, and their incidence of cancer is so low. It made me question, why are we so scared of soy here? So during my research, I went back to GMO and the pesticide content. So for me, I feel very confident, and through the research I've done, fermented soy, if it's non-GMO and organic, it's very healthy and has a lot of benefits for you. Miso, it has a big, strong affinity with the GI system. Your gut, your microbiome down here in your abdomen, that's where about 70% of your immune system is. And when you consume miso regularly, it's going to inoculate and enhance the probiotics in this area. It's going to build your microbiome. It's going to balance your microflora, and then your immune system will get stimulated. So this is quite good for your immune system. It has a lot of benefits for the GI system. It's very good for cleaning out the blood. It's good for that research on it for cholesterol and circulation, immune function. It has a lot of different minerals in there. It's got a lot of protein, and it's got more protein in it than the soy does by itself. After fermentation, and sometimes when they combine it with other grains, the fermentation process enhances the mineral content and also the protein content. And miso has 8 of the essential amino acids, and in some research they talk about having all of the amino acids. So it's quite amazing. We're going to use this as a foundation, but by itself it has a huge benefit. We're going to talk a little bit more. Ginger has a lot of benefits for the digestive system. It can enhance the gastric juices. If we cut it in half, it's yellow. So the yellow color in Chinese medicine goes to the earth element, and the earth element is all about the spleen, the pancreas, the stomach. And that's all the earth element in the Chinese medicine. When you take that, it has a lot of benefits for the gut. And the ginger is in the same family with turmeric. So turmeric and ginger, they share some qualities, some similarities. So some research may show you that there's some benefits for the joints with the turmeric or with the ginger. Also, we're going to talk about the scallions. Now, the scallions here, the green onions, the medicine part is going to be in the tip with the rootlets. You're going to want to save that. You're going to want to throw that in your soup. Just make sure it's clean. The rootlets, we use it in Chinese medicine with some herbal formulas to enhance the circulation to the fingertips. And the reason why we do that is increase blood flow for things such as neuropathy, cold fingers, toes, pain in the joints, situations like that. The combination of these two, the ginger with the scallion, they're very good for the early stages of cold and flu. So you can take a nice soup, make a broth, and only add the ginger and the scallion. And what it does in the Chinese medicine we call release the exterior. It causes you to perspire a little bit, to sweat, and they think it can release the pathogen. So when you drink that hot tea, hot soup, it's going to go in through your body, enhance circulation, warm it up so much that it's going to ventilate your system, cause you to sweat out the pathogen. So in Chinese medicine we call it release the exterior. But that's going to be one of the bases of our soup. But we're going to enhance it with some mushrooms. And we got the king trumpet mushroom here. We got the maitake here. We got the shiitake here. I'm not going to talk about the individual benefits too much because they're too much to talk about. They're just enormous. That could be a self-study for yourself. But today we have sliced shiitakes we'll put in the soup. We're going to use those. They're immunostimulatory. They can dissolve tumors. They're very good for the immune health. and each one has a different effect on different aspects of organs in the system. But these mushrooms are going to benefit you more than the common button mushroom. A lot of commercial foods that we're used to, they're good for eating, we can enjoy them, but they don't go past that. They're not a superfood. They're not going to enhance your immunity to a high level like some of these superfoods are. These are super mushrooms, and a lot of them you can buy in the health food stores and places like that. So we're going to use these in there, and then also we're going to enhance the soup with seaweeds. Now I have alaria. This is alaria off the Maine coast, and we just got it in the mail recently from our friends at the Maine Seaweed Company. Then we have the dulce. Dulce, you can see, is a little pink, and the reason it's this color is a high iron content. And this one here is kelp. Kelp is it's pretty popular to use in the miso soup, and it also has a huge benefit on the body. It's out of all the seaweeds, has the largest amount of iodine, and the mineral content in the seaweed, if you analyze the profile, it's completely like a multivitamin. There's there's so many minerals and trace elements in there that are natural. Mother Earth made that. It was not made in a manufacturing lab, synthesized synthetically through chemicals, and then put in a capsule with a bottle, a pretty label with a huge price. This is called nature's medicine. So as you start to analyze this, we're starting to make a superfood that has so many benefits. Each one of these has super health benefits, but when you combine them, the enhanced effect on all of them is going to really affect the immune system. So with that said, we're going to have Claudia come over, and she's going to put it together for us, and we're going to enjoy how to make a beautiful bowl of miso soup.
Okay, so we're going to make the miso soup, and to start, we're going to have our pot with some good water. What I mean by good is better to use spring water or filter water. And we're going to bring that water to a boil. Usually, depending on how many people are going to have the soup, that's how you're going to estimate how much water to use. We're a family of 5, so I usually use like 4 or 5 cups, more or less. I usually use this smaller pan, and we eat it as part of our breakfast, usually before we have our breakfast. So we get all the benefits of the miso before, enhances our enzymes, the enzymes in our digestive system. So once we have the water boiling, this is almost to a boil, I'm gonna start doing that right now. We're gonna use some of the kelp or the seaweed. This time we'll have the dulce. So that one actually will, because it's much thinner than the kelp, it doesn't need to be in the water as long. So you can just feel the texture of whatever seaweed that you're using. If it's thinner and very flexible, you don't need to cook it as long in the water. If it's thicker, like these ones, like the kelps, you may wanna cut it in small pieces and leave it boiling in the water for a good, at least I would say 5 minutes, or maybe a little longer is fine, but cover the pot while you're boiling it, so the iodine or any other of the good nutrients don't come out with the steam, or you don't lose those properties. So we're gonna start by, because this kelp is very thin, I'm not gonna put it first this time, but I'm gonna start with the scallions, because I like those to get a little more tender in the water. And with the ginger, we're gonna put that in there, and we're gonna let it just cook for a moment. And in the meantime, I also wanted to share with you that you can also use the seaweed in other dishes. You can use it when you make your beans or soups, or even when you're cooking your rice, and all those really good benefits and nutrients from the seaweed are gonna go into your food. So it's another great way to enjoy that. So now we had that cooking for a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and add the shiitakes, and we're gonna add here, the amount of scallions that I had was just maybe like 1 tablespoon of scallions. That's what I'm using today. Again, this is just simulating what we do for our family when we make it. So, and these mushrooms, the shiitakes, are really also soft. So they don't need to be cooked for a super long time, because if you already had the water close to boiling or boiling, they're gonna get soft. So very, very quickly. So, but depending on the mushroom that you're using, if you feel it is a little more hardy, you can cook it a little longer. And then we're gonna add the dulce, and we're gonna let it sink in there. So you have all your ingredients, and we're gonna turn the stove off. So the reason I do that is because all the research and the ways to make it indicate that you want to add the miso into the hot water, not at a super high temperature, because it's gonna kill the enzymes. So you want to retain as much of the enzyme properties of the miso in your soup. So the way to add the miso paste in the soup is one of the good ways that we do is you grab a spoonful from the container, and you're going to you can use another spoon then, and you're gonna start scraping little by little some of the miso into the water, so then it doesn't clump in there, and it's easier to dissolve it as you're putting it in. So as I do this, it's gonna make my job easier later. At the end, you can still stir it, but it's different than just putting in there just a bunch all together, and then it kind of goes and sinks at the bottom, and then it's takes more work to dissolve it. So as you scrape that miso into it, you can start putting it in there. And in reality also, the amount of these ingredients is very flexible. If you like hearty soups, you can add more of the shiitakes. You can even add carrots or other vegetables that you enjoy. The ginger, if you really like the ginger, you can add a little more, but that one can really spice up your soup quite a bit. So you may want to be careful with the amount of ginger you put in there. But also, we like to add quite a bit of miso. As you can see, like I have 2 good-sized tablespoons that I'm adding to it. And it depends also on the kind of miso you're using, because as you can see here, there's different varieties. In my opinion, some have a little stronger flavor than others. There's one that's called the mellow miso, and that one I believe is not as strong of a flavor. So when we use that one, we add a lot more to it. But there is another one that is called the traditional red miso, and that one is, in my opinion, a stronger flavor and more rich in pigmentation, like in the color is red. So I don't necessarily use as much of the miso. So yeah, so once you dissolve it all, it's pretty good. You're pretty good to go. You could also, it's really nice if you have in your house toasted sesame oil. You can add just a little bit of the toasted sesame oil, and it gives it a really good flavor, and it gives you the nice properties of that oil as well. But yeah, let's just make it easy for you, so you can make it into your daily routine. And the more you eat these nutrients on a daily basis, the healthier you're going to be. They recommend per person to go through 3 pounds of seaweed in like a month or 2 months. So you want to keep consuming these foods to get enough nutrition that your body needs. All right, well, I hope you like this video. Make sure you click like and subscribe to our channel, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.